Good morning, Year 3. Today we are going to be doing lesson number 3, and this is all on unit fractions. So just to start, let's review what is a fraction. So you would have learned in lesson 1 that a fraction is actually an equal part of a whole. So if you think I have a whole thing and I've put it into equal parts, I've divided it into equal parts. A fraction can also be part of a set. So for example, I have a set of pens and I might just pick one of them. This is a part of my set altogether. So if you look here, I have a rainbow, not a perfect rainbow, but if I just picked one color, let's say orange, I know that orange is part of that set. Now, today we're going to specifically be looking at unit fractions. So unit fractions. So here you can see that I have my shapes still and they have been divided into equal parts. Here I also have my rainbow, again not a perfect rainbow, but if I looked at just one colour, that's one part of the whole. So this green is one part of my whole entire rainbow. Now, most of the times when we do fractions, we actually see them like this. You have one number on the top, you have a line here, and then you have another number at the bottom. Now here you might recognize this as, is it a third, a quarter? No, of course, it's a half. So this is a half. Now, to know fractions and to really remember them, the best way to think about this is saying I have one part, in this case, I've chosen one part out of two. So my whole, I had my whole part and it's been divided into two. So if this was my whole, I've now divided it into equal parts and now I have two equal parts. This two equal parts, how much the whole has been divided into, we call this the denominator. So that is the number that goes at the bottom of your fraction, the denominator. The denominator tells us the number of equal parts the whole has been divided into. Remember, it's very important that they're equal parts. So like I said, my circle has been divided, the whole has been divided into two equal parts. That's how I know that my 2 is my denominator. Now, here I have another number on the top, and this is the number that you're selecting, that you're choosing. It might be a pizza, and I'm having 1/2 of that pizza, or it might be a biscuit, and I'm sharing it, and we each get a half. We each get one part of the two. Now this is called a numerator. So your numerator is the number of parts selected. So my whole has been divided into two, but I've only chosen one part in this case. And a unit fraction, what we're looking at today, means that 1 will always be the numerator. The denominator might change a unit fraction, but the numerator will always stay the same. And now we call this kind of line, this is called a vinculum. That's a fun fact as well. You can ask your adults if they know, they probably won't know. So a good way to remember this as well is D for denominator is down. So that helps you remember that denominator is always the last one. It's down if you look at it. So you have your numerator, your vinculum, and your denominator. Now let's look how this works. So I'm going to look at this shape here. Now, it's always easier if you start with your denominator. I find it easy. So first, you want to ask yourself to find the denominator. How many parts has the whole been divided into equally? How many equal parts are there? So here I have one that's been shaded, but I can see that they're equal. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that my whole, the whole of the shape, the whole of the square has been divided into 4 equal parts. Now remember, D, denominator, down. So I'm going to put the number 4 under my vinculum. Now I want to find out my numerator. So this is the part that's been selected. This is the part that we want. It might have been a cake that we divided into quarters. It might be a square piece of pizza. It might be anything. But we want a unit fraction, so the numerator is always going to be 1. So we've only picked one part, so there we have it. And you can read this fraction as 1/4. 1/4. Lovely. Now, if we have a look over here at our rainbow, now the rainbow, technically, like I said, it's not a perfect rainbow, and it technically doesn't have equal parts, but here we're going to look at it as part of a set. So same thing, I'm going to start with my denominator to find out how many equal parts the whole has been divided into. So to do this, I'm going to count how many colors is in this rainbow. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 colors that have made up my rainbow. So denominator, do I put the 6 here? No, I need to put the 6 here. This is showing me how many parts of my whole. So I put 6. And now again, our numerator, well, I know that we're doing unit fractions, so the numerator would always be a 1, but let's just double check. I want to choose the color yellow. So there's only one yellow, one part of it. It could be green, it could be blue, violet, orange, red, it could be any of those colors, but each of those colors is going to be 1/6. I picked one color out of the 6. So 1/6. 1 out of 6, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 2. All right. Now, your key sentence today is here. It's a bit long, but it's very good for you to remember. So then this way, when you're doing your fractions, you kind of understand it. If you think, I've picked 1 out of this. So let's take this example. The whole is divided into parts. So let's look at this one. How many parts has the whole been divided into? Let's read it again and do it together. The whole is divided into 2 parts. Lovely. Each part is one of the whole. Now this one might seem a bit tricky, but it's simple enough. Each part is one part of the whole. That's a part, this is 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 a part. They all make up the whole when they're together. So each part is one part of the whole. The denominator is so here, the denominator is it 1 or is it 2? It's 2. The denominator is 2 because the whole has been divided into 2 equal parts in this case. The numerator is 1 or 2? 1. The numerator is 1 because they are getting, the person or whoever, they're only getting one part of the whole. You could also say, you know the numerator is going to be 1 because today we're just doing our unit fractions. Now we have one left over here, and this is going to be your first shape in your exercise book. Now yours is tilted slightly, but it's going to be the same thing. So let's look again. I want to know, I'm going to start with the denominator first. So I need to count how many parts the whole has been divided to equally. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now remember, some of them might be selected, but those still count. So if you want to make sure you're doing accurate counting, you can always just put a dot so you know you've counted that part. I'll count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that my whole has been divided into 5 equal parts. So I know that the denominator is 5. Now I need to look at my numerator. Again, you are very clever, so you know that we're doing unit fractions today. So the numerator would always be 1. But let's just show our mathematical thinking as well. So I know that I need to find the numerator, which is the part that's been selected. So in this case, this part has been shaded in orange. And already you can just see there's one part that has been shaded in orange. Now this might be that it's taken away. This might be that it's the only one left. You don't know, it depends what the question is. But here we just see that it's one part that's been selected out of the 5. So we have 1 out of 5, or 1/5. 1 out of 2, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 6 in that case. So just to recap your unit fractions today, you're going to find out how many parts the whole has been divided into to find your denominator. And then you're going to find out how many parts have been selected. Again, unit fractions, so it's always going to be just one part because it's a unit fraction. So one part has been selected. So the numerator will always be 1. Have a go at that. I know that you're going to do an excellent job. Another great idea is to find unit fractions in your house. So I have my pens, 3 pens here, and I want to do, well, I know that I have 3 in a set, so my denominator would be 3, and I'm going to pick the color green. So that would be 1 out of my 3, because remember, even though this one's away, it was still part of my original set. So it's 1 out of the 3 together, all right? So have a go at that. I can't wait to see your work, and you guys are doing such a good job. So keep up the excellent work. See you later.